The IBS support group was established more than 10 years ago, so we're more than a decade old already. It was first started back then in response to a lack of understanding and lack of knowledge about irritable bowel syndrome. IBS is actually characterized by three things. So first of all is the presence of abdominal pain or discomfort. That number two is associated with a change in bowels. Third, it must be a chronic disorder. Very commonly, patients go to see their doctors, or nowadays they see Dr. Google. They Google up online, I've got tummy pain, what's it due to? And they end up looking up and saying, maybe this is peptic ulcer disease, maybe this is gastritis, maybe it's something else. And so very often they either go for their own self-remedies, they become their doctors themselves, or very often they are seen by doctors who may not be entirely familiar with what irritable bowel syndrome is. The second thing is the misconception bit. A lot of people swing between two extremes. So number one, they become very depressed and say, oh no, I've got this disorder, I've been told it's incurable, my life is horrible. Full stop, it's over. No. IBS is something that can be overcome. It's a misnomer to say that there is no cure for it. It's a misnomer to say that there's nothing that can be done for it. You can actually start with simple things like lifestyle changes, find out what the provoking factors are that actually trigger it. For example, certain elements of diet, stresses in life might actually trigger it, and then you address that. As it gets a bit more severe, you might be looking at symptom relieving medication. So the times when you've got cramps, abdominal pain, there are medication which you could actually take to actually help control it. Depending whether it's constipation predominant, diarrhea predominant, IBS, and yes, you can subcategorize IBS, treatment would then be tailored to that accordingly. The end of the scale, where they actually have got very serious persisting symptoms that actually affect their daily lives. And there have been studies that have actually shown that IBS affects the lives of not only the patients themselves, but also of their partners and their spouses. So there have been a couple of studies that have actually been published to that end already. And then you'll be looking at specialist treatment to address multiple issues that come on board as well. We help them to help themselves. We don't give advice directly because advice should really be something that's personal and medical in confidence between you and your physician. Number two, we do not give direct funding for medication or anything, because I think in Singapore we have an excellent healthcare network. What we do, as I said, is help patients help themselves by giving them knowledge and education. There is a consensus that probiotics are shown to help with IBS, not to cure IBS. They help in various ways, and there have been various mechanisms that have been postulated. Certainly taking a cultured milk drink which contains a probiotic could potentially be of benefit.